What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Tripp with REI Live. I am here in East Lake, Alabama with Paul Mielke. How's it going, Paul? The star of Flipping Down South. Yeah. Guys, I want to take you guys, I'm going to show you a couple of houses that Paul's been doing, and I also want to learn about East Lake itself, because I've been in the business for about 10 years now. I've been in these areas, and for some of the stuff that Paul's been telling me about, the prices he's getting these houses for, how much they're having to put into them, which I do believe, but the prices they're getting out of them, I can't believe. So we're going to get into all that. But first, Paul, I want to ask you about this TV show.
Yeah.
Because you're the star of a show.
That's what I'm told. You know, it takes a team effort, you know, and like we wouldn't have a show without my business partner, Cody. But it's one of those things that like still doesn't feel real. No. You know, like and it just doesn't feel real to, like, I'll like be clicking through Hulu sometimes to see me on there. I'm like, oh, that's weird, you know?
So let's talk about like how it even came about, because I've heard the story, and guys, we're going to link up in the description about, Paul came and talked to REI Live, our group, and he gave like the whole long story, and we'll link all that up. Just the brief version. How did this thing even come about? Yeah,
so briefly, we put it on our goals list, and then we got really intentional around creating a product that a TV show would want to pick up. And then we were really prepared when they came knocking. So not only did we create the product and then we got lucky, you know?
Sure.
We were prepared, but we also just got really lucky.
But this is like the very first sentence of what you just said. It was a goal.
Yeah.
Like from the very beginning. Yeah. Most house flippers, when they set out to do real estate, their goal is to do real estate and do more real estate and flip more houses. Your goal from the outset was to have a TV show. Why?
Yeah, well, so we wanted, you know, there was a lot of reasons. Our business has been growing really quickly, and we thought that a TV show would bring validity to that. We've only been in the business, I've only been flipping houses for about 3.5 years, maybe at the most, and I've only been in real estate about 6 years. And so we felt like, you know, as our business scaled, because of our time in the business being so limited, people weren't really taking us seriously, and we thought a TV show could bring that validity to us, to our business, to our product, all those things.
Season 1's a wrap.
Season 1's a wrap.
It's out there now. We're seeing if the season 2 is gonna come about very soon. But has it brought validity? Has it? Well, tell me what it's done so far. I know it's early in the game, but what's it done so far?
So one thing it's done is it's gained us a lot of mind share in the real estate community in Birmingham, and I think it has brought validity to our business. You know, like people forget that we've only been doing this 3 years now, which was the whole goal. But it's also, you know, it's brought a lot of other things too. You know, people like know who I am when I call them, and that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Or people like when I write an offer on their house, like they're excited that I'm writing the offer instead of me just being another one of the 15 offers that came through the door.
For sure.
So
that's awesome. If you can get more business out of it, that's the goal. I'm sure that's why you wanted to have it as a goal.
We wanted to bring a good spotlight to East Lake too. You know, East Lake's had a bad rap for a long time.
Okay.
And we wanted to, you know, like really spotlight that there's cool things going on out here.
Yeah. Let's go inside, because we're gonna talk about East Lake. I want to talk. Houses in East Lake are generally pretty old.
Yes.
And typically they're built, what, in the 20s? Some of them built in the 20s, 30s, 40s?
So some are built in the 20s and 30s, and this is a 30s home. Our general buy box is, you know, like post-World War II homes, and in East Lake there's a lot of those, so we're looking between, you know, 1945 and 1965. We just found that those houses have been really easy to work on. They're, you know, really square rooms, like you take them apart, you put them back together, and then because they're easy to work on, we get to use finishes that are more fun. And I think that's what separates us a little bit too, is like, I'm having a blast decorating these houses and picking out like light fixtures and stuff, and it's not just a copy and paste like cookie cutter type deal. As we scale, maybe that'll change, but for now, it's my favorite part of my job.
So, why don't you show us around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us what you've done to this house, because a 1920s house, 1930s house, it's going to need a lot of work. You've put a lot into it, so tell us what you've had to do to it.
Yeah, so this was a $37,000 house. It was filled to the top with like furniture and stuff. It was a one family owned home.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was raining in this room from the ceiling. So it was coming in through the roof, running down the wall in the bedroom upstairs, and then coming right into the living room. So we had to, first thing we did was go in there, reframe part of the roof, put a new roof on it, and then from there, I mean, plumbing, electrical. We scoped the main line. We did some foundation repairs, lots of new drywall. And pretty much everything you see in this house is brand new. We try to keep some original charm. So like,
Such as?
Like the fireplace. Like, so we didn't paint the fireplace or anything like that. We kept the mantle. We kept the picture hanging molding around. Things like that. And then we did, we get to do fun stuff like this pink lacquer ceiling in here, which is like one of my favorite things we've ever done. But like we're still on a budget. So this was that beautiful like terrazzo 5x5 red tile out here, and it had already sunk. And in a different price point, I'd love to go back up with it, but here we just did a deck. So you're making your sacrifices too in the affordable family housing price point.
So I want to talk about that too, because you're sitting here talking about you're in the affordable family price point.
Yep.
You told me earlier you put $90,000 into this home.
Yeah.
Got it for 40, is that what you said?
Yeah, 37.
37. Got it for 37.
Yeah.
Put 90 into it. That's a lot you're putting into it.
Yeah.
But even though you put 90 into it, redid the electrical, redid the plumbing, you're having to redo a lot.
Yeah.
Even though you put 90 into it, which is a way above average rehab, you still couldn't do all the stuff you probably wanted to do. Yeah, no.
You gotta protect yourself. We're still like, we're not a nonprofit, we're still making money, and we're building a community of people that work with us and for us too, that need to make a living and have health insurance and all those things, which is something that our company does. So the balance is making a profit, keeping the product affordable, and still creating the community for your employees that like they want to live into. So we're just community building across the board.
Yeah.
But there's 100 things in this house that I would have loved to have done different if it was a $400,000 house.
Right.
But I think we did as much as we could.
Yeah. All right, show us around.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're halfway through like destaging and making repairs right now per the buyer's request. But like this is a good example, like wicker chandelier, things like that. Love to use color. Our interior designer. This is all Home Depot stuff, So like everything in this kitchen was bought from Home Depot or Floor & Decor or somewhere where you could just go pick it up. And we just did our best with it. So we like to paint the cabinets and stuff like that. That really makes our stuff like stand out. We're not just dropping the standard issue stuff in there. We're having a good time, like making it a fun home.
Yeah.
Like a good example of something that we do that other people probably wouldn't do in this price point. We got a soaking tub and a stand-up shower in here. A lot of people and we really had to work to get this tub in. It was not a lot of fun, but we got it in, and now somebody has, that's a tub that you would see in like a $400,000 house, but now you have it in your $200,000 house.
So it brings me to something that you just mentioned. It's a $200,000 price point.
Yeah.
Like when I hear $200,000 in Eastlake, I'm just like, what are you talking about? I was over here even as late as 2017 and 18. Selling houses for 60 and 70,000.
That's a lot of people that catches them off guard, and we used to try to keep the price point lower, but we learned that to do a product that people could really enjoy and have confidence in, you gotta find that middle ground. And for us, that price point went from like, we used to try to keep things around like 130, 140,000, which we still do some projects like that, but we discovered that to do a good product, you really need to be around $175,000 to $200,000. Just based on the amount of money you have to put into these homes.
For sure.
So, and then just like in general, they say like, opportunity is found where responsibility is abandoned, and I think that's like the greatest thing that like anybody's ever told me that relates to Eastlake. Because there's a lot of people who came in and gotten out, and like, they used to call me the king of Eastlake, and it was like a kind of like a jab, and now like we're making a good living out here.
So Paul, I'm driving over here. I'm coming down to Port of Madrid. Turning on Rugby. And I know these are my stomping grounds. Like from an investment standpoint, I've wholesaled 100 houses out here. There's abandoned apartments. There's burned out houses. There's houses that are just still vacant everywhere. How in the world are you getting 200,000? I don't understand it.
It's a big task, and we had to build our own comps. And
so that's what I was going to ask you about. You have to build your own comps because no one else is out here. No one else is crazy enough to be out here doing what you guys are doing.
Yeah, you gotta believe. You gotta be passionate about it. That's one thing that I've learned, and then you're lucky enough sometimes that people come along for the journey. You get that appraiser that believes, that has the passion like you do for creating something great that is also affordable. And then you're able to take, you just have to be ready to go. So you take one win and turn it into another win, and another win and turn it into another one. But the abandoned homes and the size of the neighborhood is a reason that we picked Eastlake.
Sure.
It was continuous to downtown. It had an exit that was convenient to the interstate. All the homes were roughly between 900 and 1,600 square feet. And there was like 6,000 homes in 35206 or some sort of very large number where I was like, that's where I really want to plant my feet down. There was no competition either, and no realtor that really decided that they were going to make this their place. And I wasn't from here, and the neighborhood was eclectic, and it was different, and like it reminded me of where I grew up. And I was like, you know what? Those are my people. That's where I'm gonna set my feet down and try to give back to my community. So,
guys, we're gonna go check out another house.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna go check out another house of Paul's, and when we get there, I'm gonna ask him questions about some stuff he was just talking about. How in the world did he pick? If you're a new investor, how would you pick an area? How would you pick a marketplace? How scary is that? Would you go where no one else is? Would you go where there are no comps and you want to build comps? You want to build the neighborhood? We're going to ask him about that stuff at the next house. Come on. All right, guys, we're back in Eastlake, and we're back at another Paul Mielke
had to switch
house.
it up. Yeah.
So tell us about this one real quick.
Yeah, so this is a Spanish revival style home, and this is going to be my personal house one day. And since we just saw something that's redone and under contract, I figured I'd show something that was like most of the stuff when we originally bought it.
Cool. You guys want to see this one? Come on. I'm excited to go in here. Let's go.
It's already been framed a little bit, so enough where we can walk.
When was this one built? Do you know?
1919 or something. So.
And what's wild to me is 1919 is over 100 years ago.
Yeah,
We say it was built in the 20s. That was 100 years ago.
Yep.
Well, cool, man.
The first Roaring 20s, right?
The first Roaring 20s. Yeah. Hopefully we have another one.
That's right.
So, Paul, we're driving over here,
Yeah.
and I'm following behind you in your Porsche.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about that. Like, does that just come with the lifestyle of being a TV star?
Yeah, well, actually, the Porsche is relatively new. You know, there was only I just got that car 10 months ago. I think I got my credit card and I was like, hey, bro, congrats on 10 months of payments, which is, you know, awesome that I've had it that long. But before then, I didn't even have a car. So I was kind of walking around, scooting around, just finding my way around town. I was coming out of a bad business relationship where I had one flip left. It was a partnership, so they had taken the rest of it, and I had to sell my car to put appliances in to get my last little bit of capital to start this whole thing over again. So it's been a wild journey because right now we have 19 homes.
So that's actually I want to like lead into that. So we're sitting here talking about, you know, turning around a neighborhood. We've seen it happen in Avondale.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen in Norwood.
Yeah.
There's some people that think Tarrant is a great area to start that revitalization. And for you, it's Eastlake.
Yes.
And you kind of went through over at the other house talking about all the different reasons why you picked Eastlake.
Yeah.
But you really believe that Eastlake can be that Avondale.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing that Eastlake needs to become that is it needs some commercial businesses in there that provide jobs, and maybe a grocery that is that people feel safer going to. So as you get those two things, I think that you'll really see the neighborhood take off. And also just what's good for Birmingham is good for Eastlake. As jobs come in, people are going to be looking for affordable family housing, and they're going to have somewhere to go. And for me, I think that spot is Eastlake, 12 minutes to downtown. Easy access on the interstate. It's continuous. The houses are a manageable size where I don't feel like the price will ever get drove beyond like a reasonable amount. And then also these aren't like 19 for the most. This one is, and the first one we saw is. But those post World War II homes are pretty easy for people to work on. Your little cottages, your box cottages, like you can work on those on the weekends. They're not historic homes that need all these things. So I think those things together make Eastlake like up next.
So put yourself in your shoes 3-5 years ago when you're starting this journey, this real estate journey, and you were talking about it earlier, like you picked Eastlake out of all these different factors. If someone were to come and someone's a new investor and they want to start picking, maybe I want to start wholesaling in a specific area, I want to start flipping houses in a certain area, how in the world do I know? It's pretty scary to go to a place where no one else is flipping houses.
That's true, yeah.
So is that something that you would recommend to people, or?
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it to other people. My tolerance for risk is very high, and I'm willing to go through I'm willing to really suffer to get to my goals. And also, like, I'm one of those people that just hops in and kind of learns as he goes. I learn by doing. I got a lot of friends who are, like, investors, but they just go to a lot of conferences and then they never buy a house.
For sure.
And that's not me at all. I'm actually the guy who just buys a house and then figures it out along the way. For other people, I wasn't bankable either, which was just something that I'm just now getting to the point where that's a point of leverage for me. And so I had to kind of go where I could do creative financing and where I could do all these other things. And for me, that was Eastlake. It was the Wild West, and I was able to really get my feet down as a realtor, as an investor, and really cut my teeth out here.
Yeah. So I'd love to take a tour around this house.
Okay, yeah.
Because this is, I mean, as we're sitting here and I'm talking to you, I hear birds chirping in my ear because there's no door, there's no windows. The few windows that are here are busted out.
Yeah.
So this one is it's a project.
Yeah, so one of my favorite people is Rick Rubin, and he has this saying, reduction over production. He's a music producer, right? And so for this house, as a Spanish revival style home, I almost never paint everything white, but this is going to be a very simple house. So we're going to go with it's going to be white everything all the way across the board. This is going to be the kitchen in here. I know it's hard to see right now. This is going to be informal dining. This back room is going to be my man cave. So I'm going to do like a purple glass cloth wallpaper all the way around with like a crushed velvet couch. It's gonna be.
You have the vision of how you want to decorate it.
Yeah, it's gonna be groovy.
Well, Paul, groovy. Let's talk in terms of like putting the thing together first.
Yeah, so we're gonna frame all this up, and then this is gonna be an island sitting here in the kitchen. This hallway right here will go to the guest bathroom, so that it's not directly off the kitchen or off the man cave.
Paul, thank you so much for giving us a tour. Learned a lot about Eastlake, learned a lot about you, your business, and what you got going on. I really appreciate you showing us around. What can we expect coming up next from you guys?
Man, hopefully season 2. We're gonna break out of our comfort zone and do a little bit of luxury stuff here soon as well. And then we have 2 commercial projects going on in South Eastlake right now, which is our first venture into anything commercial. So that'll be an adventure all of its own, and then hopefully just continuing to network and spread the good word of Eastlake.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, I'm going to put the link to their show where you can go watch their show. I'm going to put the link to Paul's Facebook and his Instagram, so you go check it out. He's building a community right now. You guys need to be a part of his Facebook community, and I'll put all those links below. Thank you so much for checking out Eastlake with us, and we'll see you guys next time.